I just walked in, but y'all already know me. Things in the world nowadays getting oldie. Chilling in the crib with the fam, getting cozy. Talking with my people, we at home with our homies.
What's up, everybody? I am Jason Ciano, your host of At Home with Our Homies. Today I have on the wonderful Chris Ressa from DLC. What's up, Chris?
Nothing, man. It's lollipops and rainbows over here. You?
Oh, yeah. Same old, same old. It's, you don't know what's coming at you at any given minute nowadays, right?
Nope.
It's unbelievable. Talk to me, man. What's keeping you most busy at home?
So, right now, from a landlord perspective, it's been like a month, the first thing, we started, the first thing was, you have 120 employees. Getting them up and running at home was a key thing, right? We had some accountants and people who didn't have laptops, right? They had desktop computers. So getting everyone up and running at home was a big endeavor. Making sure we had enough VPN access to get on our shared drives at home. That was one. The next was, we really started getting into the property level stuff. So, do you have a protocol for how do you run a shutdown center? How do you run a partially shut down center where, we have a grocery store and then non-essential retailers who are closed, right? You have to think about things like access and, security, lighting. If we're up north, we have stuff in the north where there was still, facility stuff. You have lift stations, pipes that might freeze. How do you run all that? Working with vendors. In certain things, right, we have grocers and like Sam's Clubs and Walmarts where, people using gloves, making sure that they're putting them in the garbage, things like that. Because people
That's been a big mess, man. People are slobs. It's terrible.
So we've had to like sweep up a ton of gloves, people throwing them on the ground and whatnot when the big craze was happening. Then you move into, okay, you've got, some protocols in place. Now you start thinking, okay, well, we have a COVID-19 hotline in case anyone at one of our properties is infected, so someone who knows, a store manager, someone can call and let us know. We have disinfectant crews going all the time. So that was a big thing, being able to operate a property through a COVID-19 pandemic. That was a work in progress.
Sure.
That first Monday was 21 hours from 6:30 a.m. to 3:30, like getting that in place so that we could support the local businesses who were still open, the national grocers and wholesale clubs who were still open, and making sure there was all the closed stores were safe. Right. It's probably easier to run a totally shut down property than it is a partially shut down property.
Sure.
And
I would imagine.
Closing access off here, but leaving access open here, having security. And typically from a security perspective, we have relationships in the community with the police departments. So in a scenario where we might need off-duty police officers, whether we have an event or we just want extra security, they're usually readily available. During this, it's hard because they're all working, with a lot of, extreme measures right now. So that's been interesting as well. Then you move to the piece of, the elephant in the room with rent reduction requests and both this nationals and locals, helping small businesses make it to the other side.
Yep.
As well as we need to figure out how to collect as much rent as possible because we have to keep the lights on, and moving along as well. So there's that whole piece. So that's what's been keeping me up and working through.
Yeah, it has been busy to say the least.
Minimum 15-hour days for the last month. Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really a crazy time that we're dealing with, and it's the trickle down effect, right? I mean, if the tenants aren't paying their rent, how are the landlords supposed to maintain their expenses and their mortgages and all of that fun stuff? And it's been very tough for everybody to navigate. And hopefully, this payroll protection plan and the other loan opportunities for folks are going to kick in soon because without capital, nobody really has a business.
Totally.
It's scary. It really is.
And the burn for everyone is fast.
Yeah.
The burn is fast. So
yeah,
cash burn.
So hoping all of that stuff really starts to kick in now, and keep some folks out of harm's way. But it's inevitable. There will be plenty of businesses that don't ever open again, unfortunately.
Yeah. So the way we look at that is one of the things internally. I'm a sports fan. I've been pushing internally is what I've been calling win in advance, which is just like March Madness basketball. You can't worry about the Final Four when you're in the Sweet 16. You got to win that game. You can't make it to the Final Four if you don't win that game. So win in advance. Worry about the game right now, and then we'll worry about the next game. So looking 6 months ahead is clearly something people are doing. But if you can't solve the problem right now, then 6 months ahead it doesn't matter. So win in advance. That said, we are asking small businesses at this point in time, have they started to think about the be prepared to open? What does being open look like in a post-COVID-19 world, right? Do you when there's a vaccine, do you need a sign up that says where all my employees are 100% vaccinated, right? Do you have to do physical things to the store?
Sure.
To make it more, seem like it's people are safe? Do you need to have CDC approved disinfectant companies every day in there?
I think there's a lot of what ifs, and the short answer is there's going to be a combination of everything that you mentioned. It's inevitable. Listen, we're past the 5-minute mark, so now we're going to have fun. Ready to rock?
Ready to rock.
What's your favorite movie?
Man on Fire.
That was quick. What's the best thing to do in your hometown?
Outdoors, hiking.
What is the most interesting item that you have nearby?
That's a great question. I got a lot of stuff in here.
Pick one.
The most interesting. I think everyone's been. This is probably not interesting, but for this, every Zoom call I've been on, people are like, "What the heck is this? You have a whole mic set up right here."
I love that.
So I'm gonna go with the mic.
I would agree. I love that. That's right up my alley. So it's not crazy to me, but other people might think so. What's one thing nobody knows about you?
I wouldn't say nobody, but I'm a fantasy football nerd. I love fantasy football.
Love that. What's a popular song the year that you graduated high school?
Mo Money, Mo Problems.
Next question. How do you stay productive and motivated while working virtually?
Stay connected. Zoom.
It's funny because I saw your post on LinkedIn asking for tips on this.
Yeah, so it's very, I'm finding it, right? I don't have a good office setup. I'm in my basement, storage. I don't have a good office setup. So additionally, since I'm in the basement, staying away from the kids so I can work, it's, I got lights on here, but less windows, and I'm in here for hours, right? 15-hour days, just grinding. So I would say the more I can connect with people, I'm on the phone or Zoom all day. That's how I stay productive. But it is a challenge given the environment. I feed off the energy of the office. I like a loud office environment. I like people. I feed off of that. Like when it's dead silent, one of my guys has a sign that's on his phone, and it's above his phone. It says, and it points down. It says, "Pick me up. I make you money." So, I
love that.
Yeah.
So true. Last question. And by the way, I don't know if you know what happens at the end of this show, but you're probably not prepared for it, but we'll see in a second. If you could know the truth about one thing, what would it be?
One thing. Oh man, that's a great question. I don't know how. There's so many things I'd like to know the truth. I want to know who killed Kennedy. I'm a wrestler. Abraham Lincoln was a wrestler. I want to know if he was good.
That'll be the last question here. Now, listen, everybody wants to know what my guests are eating through their isolation period. So we typically take a quick tour of their refrigerator or their pantry to see what they're eating. Are you game for that?
Yeah, you want to go to my fridge?
Let's go, brother. We'll get you out of the basement for a little too.
Yeah. So, here's my kitchen, everyone.
Excellent.
So my wife's incredible. She's been making me good meals. So we got here yogurt and fruit and grapes.
Very healthy. That's a common theme here.
So this is my favorite, a sauce. My wife cooks in the Instapot. It's a sausage risotto.
Okay.
Our favorite meal. We'll go to the second fridge.
You guys are well stocked right now. It's good. You got a little gym over there. I see that.
Yep, I've been 30 days straight on my Concept 2 rower.
Ah, look at that. Well, good setup.
So there's some seltzer, iced tea. That's what's going on in my fridge.
Good stuff.
A lot of wipes.
A lot of wipes.
That was pre-COVID-19 because I got 2 kids in diapers.
I was going to say, very smart, man, to stock that stuff up in advance.
Wasn't intentional.
Yeah, no, obviously. But, hey, at least you have it. Forward thinking. Good stuff, brother. We have Beth and Gabe both saying hello to us at the same time.
Hey, guys.
Give a shout out to them. So, listen, Chris, I don't want to keep you. I know you have a lot of work to do, and I appreciate you taking the time to have some fun with us.
No problem. Can I ask you one question?
Yeah, of course.
What's going on in your world? What are you doing?
Man, I come to the office for the earlier part of the day since I'm the only person in the office, so I'm able to maintain that typical kind of day, if you will, on some level, right? So I keep my routine the same, and then I spend the rest of the day at home with the family and continuing to work in a similar setup to you. Right now, though, most importantly, I said this on a call I was on earlier, I see this time period as a reset button as opposed to a pause button. So I'm just trying, my brain, man. I'm all about innovating, disrupting on some level, helping usher our industry into the new normal, whatever that means. And, that's what I'm thinking about. Like, what exactly, when things do open back up, how are consumers' behavior going to be different based on the fact we're forced right now to use digital platforms more than ever to have products shipped to us, so on and so forth. So I'm spending too much time thinking about that stuff.
Well, one of the things that I think will be interesting for your business, because you're national, you have a New York focus, but you're national. And so I own centers everywhere. It's very different in other parts of the country right now. Yep. It doesn't feel the same. And so you turn on the local news, you see what's going on here. It's alarming. But in places across the country, it doesn't feel like that. I think
Sure.
There's a contingent where it will be normal elsewhere,
Definitely.
different places.
Yeah, no, I see the same. I actually was on a call this morning with the Wall Street Journal, and we were talking about they were asking me what's going on in my market, and I said, that's a tough question to answer because I cover the whole country. I said, so, New York Metro, one thing. Outside of New York Metro and outside of California, Seattle and Louisiana, hotspots, very, very different. So, I think that's actually, to your point, I think that's one advantage, if you will, that we have because, not everywhere is completely on hold. So, it does give us a little promise that things will open up and continue in other markets outside of New York because New York is definitely on pause.
Yeah. Totally.
So, yeah, brother. Well, listen, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. I love connecting with you.
One last thing.
Yeah.
A tip that I need to start doing, and I took from that post on LinkedIn. One of the things I think you get from I know you love Nike anyway. You're wearing
Oh,
Nike all the time.
all the time.
But, typical my day in the office is button down and pants, maybe a blazer and jeans. I think I am going to start getting dressed for work. I think because you see me, I'm rocking a beach t-shirt, an Avalon, New Jersey t-shirt, right? Like I think that'll help be more productive, right? If you look like your Instagram profile pic, I think you'll feel better.
Agreed.
About things. So I'm gonna start doing that.
That's very smart. One of my colleagues actually joins our Sabre Zoom calls in a suit, in a button down and a tie, in a dress shirt and a tie. And it's so funny. He's got shorts on. He's based in Tampa. He's got shorts on and he's got his white shirt and his tie and he's ready to go. And it's all mindset, Mindset. If you feel like, like you're in work mode, you're going to work harder.
Yeah. The last thing I'll leave you with is I wrestled in college.
Yeah.
I had a friend who would totally gel, wax, pomade his hair before the wrestling match. I'm like, you realize in 5 seconds you're going to be sweaty. Guy's hand's going to be on your head. Why are you gelling your hair? And he looks at me and he goes, look good, feel good, wrestle good. I go, okay.
I like that.
So look good, feel good, work good.
I love that. All right, brother. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, man. Bye.
Be well. Stay safe out there.
I just walked in, but y'all already know me. Things in the world nowadays getting oldie. Chilling in the crib with the fam, getting cozy. Talking with my people, we at home with our homies.